Red Angus enthusiasts, step forward now for this episode, plus solutions for scour control now that calving season is fixing to start. Crew, let's ranch it up. Good day, everyone, and thanks for riding with us on this all-new episode of the Ranch It Up Radio Show. I'm Jeff Tigger Earhart. A big thank you goes out to our partners, ranchchannel.com, Clear Springs Cattle Company and the Bred for Balance sale, Wasem Red Angus, Stockman's Livestock Exchange, the American Gelbvieh Association, Imogene Ingredients, and FARMATAN. We're going to hear from the Pauls here in just a few minutes. Westway Feed Products, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Dakota Cowboy, Allied Genetic Resources and Allied Feeding Partners, Livestock Market, Equine Market, and AuctionTime.com, RFD TV Wrangler, and this fine radio station. All right, let's dive right into this one. Calving season might have started for some producers. Others, it's maybe a ways out, and many of you have reached out about FARMATAN from Imogene Ingredients. We've talked about it all year long. We've talked about it a lot, but especially getting FARMATAN into the cows and heifers pre-calving, 60 to 90 days pre-calving to prevent scours, to attack coccidia and scriptosporidia. Now let's answer your questions by heading to the Pauls, Paul Mitchell and Paul Martin with FARMATAN. Guys, how does and we've done this a lot already about how FARMATAN comes in and helps prevent coccidia, it helps prevent scours, and this is very much from a pre-management standpoint. So let's talk a little bit more about, there might be some people that are just tuning into us for the first time, about how feeding FARMATAN, feeding the tannin into the diet, it can be in a TMR, it can be in the form of a lick tub, you can mix it in with your other rations, but getting that into the cow system, how does that help keep those future coming newborn calves healthy?
First area of impact from the tannin is to improve the lining of the gut to prevent a lot of these pathogens from staying in the cow, and it'll help clean her out of those and prevent reattachment. The likes of Clostridia, there's a patent on FARMATAN for Clostridia. E. coli, Texas A&M did some extensive studies and trial work on both E. coli and, of course, bloats, both cocci and crypto. We see those numbers coming down in the manure samples. So we know that we're cleaning that cow's gut lining out of those types of pathogens, and it's creating a better barrier for reinfection. So that's the first thing, is the manure is less infectious, so calves will be exposed to less and less infection. Secondly, FARMATAN complements, it's a high antioxidant, so it's going to complement your selenium and your vitamin E levels in your mineral. And so those antioxidants have a direct effect on colostrum quality, and what we've seen in the dairy studies, a higher quantity of colostrum coming through in your cows, which would be really important, of course, for your first-time calvers, for your bred heifers, that they would give them every opportunity to have a high-quality colostrum that's going to directly impact that calf in terms of its ability to get its immune system up to speed quickly, good broad coverage of immunity from those antibodies, because at those first 48 hours, they are wide open to absorb those antibodies, but they're also wide open to absorb other pathogens. Anything,
they're just wide open at that point. So is it 90 days? That's the best to start getting the tannin into the diet, correct?
So the for range cows where you can't monitor their daily consumption, we have found a 90-day program on average on a 4-ounce mineral works really, really well. Now, if a guy is feeding TMR or feed wagon and you guarantee that they're getting it in every day, we would have a minimum of 60 days in that program. So somewhere between that 60 to 90 days, the sweet spot. And what we're trying to do is get in front. So coccidia, for example, is a 21-day life cycle. By getting it in a minimum of that 60 days ahead, you're interrupting 3 of those life cycles. So there's very, very little infectious oocysts, when the calves hit the ground. So that, if you can interrupt 4 of those, that's even better. So that's what we're trying to achieve. We're looking at that between 60 and 90 days. Tigger is the best answer I can give you. Again, for range cows on loose mineral, we would try and aim for the 90 days so that you get good coverage across the whole herd. Some time back here, we were on RFD TV, Tigger, and I know you've got a great relationship with those guys. And if you go to our website, FARMATANUSA.com, under news, we've got that show that we did on Rural America Live. Dwayne Severus was on the phone during that show, and he said he's a nutritionist in Aberdeen. I know you've spoken to him before. Dwayne has approximately 10,000 cows on it out of his practice. He started off with about 9 or 10 of the herds about 4 years ago that had real chronic long-term scour problems. And what Dwayne is seeing now is that those herds are weaning between, and this is what he said on the tape, was 50 to 75 pounds heavier calves at weaning. So we know that not getting that upfront setback, getting good quality and good quantity of milk coming through the cow, you're getting a really great strong start for that calf. And then secondly, Dwayne, he said the breed back numbers that he has seen, he's seeing a 10-point difference between his improvement in breed back on his FARMATAN herds compared to his non-FARMATAN herds.
So guys wanting some more information, and we go through this every time, but what do we do? Do we call you directly? Do we jump online? Or how's the best way to start conversations going where people can say, okay, how do I get this in my diet? I'm located here. How's the best way we start those conversations?
I think if they go to your website, Tigger, I'm sure you've got links across to us there. FARMATAN USA is our website. Check that out and hit us up on a contact, and we'll get back to you, no problem. FARMATANUSA.com. Reach out to us directly, and we can assist in getting you in touch with any of the FARMATAN staff. Now, free choice or in lick tubs, 90 days prior to calving to get maximum efficacy, all right? Now, we kind of dove down the rabbit hole, but we had to so that a person could understand biologically what is happening in a cow's gut and understand what passive immunity is and how it goes from mother to calf. And I greatly appreciate how Paul breaks down this each and every time that we visit to make sure that we know exactly how pathogens work. So appreciate it, Paul, as always. And again, head to FARMATANUSA.com to get your hands on FARMATAN and to get it in the diet immediately. Now, before we head to break, Travis Wolf with the Clear Springs Cattle Company and the Bred for Balance sale called in, has an update about their sale and some of their information.
Hey, Tigger, it's Travis Wolf calling from the Bred for Balance sale. Our catalog is finished and is up online at bredforbalance.com. There on our website, you can also find a sortable spreadsheet. It's got the most up-to-date EPDs that you can sort through and find your next herd bull or some fantastic replacement females. The sale's February 9th in Starbuck, and we hope to see everyone there.
Again, that's February 9th in Starbuck, Minnesota. Thank you, Travis. You can also head to ranchchannel.com. We've got all the links available there as well for sale books, videos, where you can bid and buy online, how to register at DV Auction. We've got that link available as well. So thanks again, Travis. That sale February 9th in Starbuck, Minnesota. Now, Red Angus enthusiasts, step lively. Now, coming up, I'm going to introduce y'all to a diamond in the rough, as I'm going to say, Wasem Red Angus in Halliday, North Dakota. Their philosophies, why Red Angus, what they're looking to produce. We've got more information coming up on the Ranch It Up radio show, and we'll be back right after this. Why not give Calving and Balancer bulls a try this year? Raise replacement females with added fertility, increased longevity, and greater productivity. Get increased performance, improve feed efficiency, and increase the carcass merit. Maximize crossbreeding with Calving and Balancer. Nutrition does not need to be difficult or overwhelming or complicated at all. Keep things simple with Westway feed products. Cow-calf, dairy, feedlots, equine, and custom if you need. You can count on Westway. WestwayFeed.com. Premium Simmental and Sim Angus genetics from Clear Springs Cattle Company. Annual Bred for Balance sale February 9th in Starbuck, Minnesota. Selling 130 bulls, 60 females, an elite donor, and 5 fabulous heifers.
Travis Wolf here with Clear Springs Cattle Company. Bulls carry a 3-year breeding soundness warranty, and cost share trucking is available on all cattle. If you're in the market for profitable beef genetics that can move your herd in the right direction, check out bredforbalance.com and be sure to join us in Starbuck.
At Allied Genetic Resources, it's all about commercial customer success.
We see that charge, we understand that charge, and we're going to use all the tools we can to get there.
To maximize heterosis, purchase your next herd sire from an Allied Genetic Resources partner. Just head to AlliedGeneticResources.com. The quick, fast, easy, all-in-one location to look at bull sales. Head to ranchchannel.com. Check it out on your phone. ranchchannel.com. All the information on one page at your fingertips. Videos, catalogs, everything. ranchchannel.com. Cattle Battle. Welcome back to the Ranch It Up radio show, the most information packed into a 30-minute program that you can find. It's your all things ranching newscast, and so glad to be hanging out with you all. Questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, rants, it doesn't matter. You can call or you can text us, 707-RANCH-20. That's 707-726-2420. Email, ranchitupshow@gmail.com. Prowling around social media at Ranch It Up Show. Now, Red Angus enthusiasts, step lively now. Let's head to Halliday, North Dakota, and home of Chris and Jolynn Wassom of Wassom Red Angus. About 25 years ago, Chris and Jolynn were providing custom AI services for various farms and ranches, and they noticed the performance and docility of the Red Angus genetics that their customers were using. And as luck would have it, a neighbor and longtime Red Angus breeder decided to disperse the registered cows. Chris and Jolynn seized this opportunity to get into the seed stock business and never looked back. They applied their goals and hosted their first production sale in 2012. So let's fast forward to today and take a snapshot of their operation. Chris, thanks for joining us and sharing your philosophies about your program. But let's start here. Why Red Angus?
Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, my wife and I used to do a lot of AIing for different folks around. Saw a lot of different types and kinds of cattle, and always really liked the presentation and the disposition of the Red Angus, and just kind of felt that that's something we wanted to move forward with. Really good disposition, easy flesh, and good looking Red Angus cattle.
As you and I both know, if we don't have some sort of a roadmap put together with some goals and some visions, we're just kind of grabbing at straws and hoping for the best.
What we're trying to do here is, obviously, at the end of the day, all of our commercial customers are selling pounds, right? So from there, we kind of base our philosophy on breeding these cattle the same way. We like to inject a lot of growth. Along with doing that, we got to keep an eye on our maternal traits as well. We can lose some of that if we overdo the growth and performance part of it. And also, we're looking pretty hard at carcass traits these days too.
Is that? And I'm sorry, I'm jumping in there. And that's okay. the Red Angus Association, just in and of itself, has really been kind of pushing that too, of getting. And they've had some of the record years of producing carcass data. But I know that the association really kind of pushes that too, to have that type of data available on, carcass.
Yes, absolutely. At the end of the day, when these things hang on the rail, we're looking at carcasses, and those premium carcasses, they bring us a premium. So if we're going to breed these cattle, why not make them a premium product,
And I need to address this, and I don't mean to pour salt in a wound, because we're coming off of one extreme cold spell, and I'm not even going to talk about what you and your family went through, because as you and I were trying to get together, there was a few times you just weren't in a good mood, and rightfully so, exactly. Because of the cold spell. Your northern cattle, have they been able to adapt to other types and environments? And I think that it is so important to know that and to understand that, especially when people are looking for outcross genetics, or they're combing through your sale book trying to find very specific numbers, or they're really trying to find something that's going to change their herd. So how have you found that your genetics have adapted to different environments when you start getting a little bit further away from your home base?
We don't have a lot of cattle in the southern region of the states. We sent a load of steers down to Texas. This has been probably 3-4 years ago, down to Hereford, Texas, and they just went strictly to a feedlot there, and they performed outstanding. Feed conversions and how they actually finished out, they did awesome down there in feed. We've got some cattle in Nebraska, Illinois, and they seem to be, reports from there seem to be they're doing really well. So,
but I know that you've had interest. Climate, oh, I'm sorry. I was going to jump in there, and apparently I am jumping in there. You've had interest, though, in from really the four corners of the country, though.
We have, yes. We've had some interest from that Florida area, northern Florida up into, Alabama, and just people inquiring about our cattle up here, just reaching out to find some newer genetics that they don't see a lot of down there. So we've had some folks from, the Washington area inquire about some stuff. We've actually brought bulls over in that country over the years and brought them here, and they seem to adapt just fine. So I feel that the northern half of the United States, I think our cattle will do just fine anywhere.
And for all intents and purposes, a fairly young outfit, if I'm not mistaken. This is going to be your 12th year having a bull sale. So kind of fairly young, I guess, in that aspect. And I know that family is very, very, very big to you and Jolynn, of, you and your two daughters and Jolynn, your wife. It's all hands on deck, and it's everybody working together.
Absolutely. We pushed the envelope on how many cattle we can actually run this place efficiently with just the four of us. We kind of reached that point here about 3 years ago and said, hey, we need to, this is about our limit. And we've kind of stuck with that, and it's worked really well. Both of the girls, they're awesome hands. They do a good job for us. And our oldest daughter, Casey, she's got some cattle in the sale this year, bulls along with some open females. So we're looking forward to continuing on with this, get her a good start going here. So maybe someday she'll maybe want to take this deal over.
So what are some future goals? Where do you want to go with the outfit, other than maybe, like you said, one of your daughters maybe take the outfit over?
Okay, this year last year actually, we made a decision to disperse our commercial herd. We sold them to a customer of ours just, south of Dunn Center here. And, we'd like to expand this registered side just a little bit. We'd like to get into that where we're selling, right around that 80, 90 bulls, somewhere in there. And nice, good quality set of bulls to sell. We're going to cull them hard, and we're going to scrutinize them just like if we were buying them. So we feel that this is kind of the route we want to stick with. And we've got a dang nice set of cows right here right now, and we're really looking forward to the calves that are coming this year. I think they're going to be something pretty special. So, as long as we continue doing what we're doing, I think going down the right track.
Let's talk about your bull sale that's coming up on February 15th. I know y'all are selling 60 Red Angus bulls and about 20 registered open heifers. DV auction will be on hand to bid and buy online for those that are unable to make the sale. So how have you developed these bulls?
We've been in contact, and very close contact, with a nutritionist. She's Heather Hilger's her name. She works with Purina Feeds. She's come out to the place, and she's done numerous hay samples, feed samples. We've sampled everything that we're putting into these guys, and from there she builds us a ration based on our feedstuffs, and we can pretty much use everything that we grow here on the place, other than a little bit of protein we've got to supplement to them, and obviously a mineral pack. So throughout the year, we're taking, bunk samples and whatever else, make sure we're on the right track as far as what we're feeding to these guys. So we continue on with taking advice from our nutritionist, all the way through till we get these guys delivered to their new homes. So, and
delivery, is there some delivery options available?
Yeah. So we deliver 300 miles, up to 300 miles for free. We've delivered farther than that before, and not charge anybody for it, but as long as it's along the way on somewhere where we're going, we can make just about anything work. We're pretty easy to work with on that end of it. So
do they both sell with any kind of a breeding guarantee?
They'll get a 60-day breeding guarantee. If anything comes up along the way where you have an issue, we try to take care of it spot on, instead of giving you credit, whatever else, we'll just take care of the issue.
And I know that customer service is big, and just at the end of the day, it's, give you a call. If there's an issue, just call and you'll take care of them.
Absolutely. Yep. If we don't know about it, we can't help you out.
Wassom Red Angus and their annual production sale, February 15th at the Wick Sale Facility in Richardson, North Dakota. Video sale books coming soon at WassomRedAngus.com. Bid and buy online, as I had mentioned, at dvauction.com. And all that information will be at your fingertips. One easy location, go to ranchchannel.com. It's laid out. It's real easy. It's all organized for you. Thanks, Chris. And by the way, we'll pass along when The videos and the sale books are available. The cold weather has set them back a few days, but they will be coming out shortly, and we will let you all know. Now, coming up, let's wrap this episode with some markets and some numbers. The Ranch It Up Radio Show will be right back. We'd like to introduce you to one of the diamonds in the rough in the Red Angus business, the Wassom Red Angus Annual Production Sale, Thursday, February 15th at the Wick Sale Facility in Richardson, North Dakota. Selling 60 bulls, 20 registered open heifers, and 110 commercial open heifers. They breed the best to sell the best so we can raise the best. Wasem, WASEM, RedAngus.com. Follow along on Facebook at Wassom Reds and bid and buy online at dvauction.com. Powerful, profitable, practical Red Angus cattle.
Cattle market reports to various news stories. The Tri-State Livestock News covers it all. Check us out at tsln.com. Subscriptions or advertising, call Tracy Hawk at 406-951-3211. The Tri-State Livestock News, what ranchers read.
Cryptosporidium, coccidiosis, scours. Do I have your attention now? Don't let scours affect you this calving season by feeding FARMATAN from Imogene Ingredients. But you gotta get it into your cows now. I've been saying it a lot. Head to FARMATANUSA.com.
Hey, it's Mark Van Zee with LivestockMarket.com.
Every week we hear from one of our great partners with updates, info, schedules, reports, and everything in between when it comes to buying and selling livestock in hay online and private treaty. LivestockMarket.com.
Want to add just a little bit of spice to your event, your customer appreciation supper, your banquet, your meeting? Oh, yeah. Well, bring in us, Beck and I, as your keynote speakers, hosts, MCs, a host couple. We'll make them laugh, even cry tears of joy. Call us today. Welcome back, everyone, to the Ranch It Up Radio Show. That time in the program, we check in with Kirk Donsbach, StoneX Financial Incorporated. Kirk, what's going on out there, my friend?
Well, good morning, Tigger, and all your listeners out there in this cold weather.
Right.
As of Friday, January 13th, March feeder futures closed the week at 227.45. That's up 305 on the week, with the CME feeder index at 228. That's down 9. That leaves our basis a positive 160 versus January futures. You'll notice the basis against Jan, and I quoted March. February live cattle closed the week at 171.42.5. That's up 70 cents on the week, with cash trading 172 in the south, 173, 174 in the north. That left the 5-area weighted average down 33 cents at 174.32. The basis is a positive $2.89.5. The big news this week was obviously the weather and how it affected the weekly slaughter, which was at 549,000. That's down 2,000 head from last week, which was a holiday shortened week, and 112,000 below the same week last year. That puts some support into choice boxes, which closed the week at 289.26. That's up $12.10 on the week. To wrap this up, March corn closed the week at $4.48 3/4. That's down 13 on the week on a bearish WASDE report that came out on Friday.
Have you ever wondered how to implement some regenerative practices on leased pasture land, as well as build relationships with people you lease from? It's Shay here, and on my latest episode of Casual Cattle Conversations, CJ Blue shares how his family does just this. Here's a snippet of what was shared.
One of the ways I guess we've differentiated ourselves from the next person that may lease that land, and not all of it, not all of it works out. But we look for partnerships and landowners to work with that have the same long-term vision that we do. I've said a number of times that at the end of the day, we really are in the land rehabilitation business, and the cows are kind of a tool to help us get there, because that's what we do. That's what we specialize in. And like I said, that's given us opportunities that I think we wouldn't have had otherwise. And one of the challenges with that, though, is, especially on leased land, is, and my brother and I had to come to this realization early on, but we're going to spend some money on something, or we're going to spend time and blood, sweat, and tears getting something straightened out and fixed up. And then, the landowner is going to decide to sell it or whatever. The family may sell it and that kind of thing. And that's definitely happened. But the key for us in this deal is to make sure that we've got partnerships and landowners, like I said, that have the same long-term vision that we do. That's everything. It's primarily land stewardship, but a whole lot of other things too.
Get the full details by listening to Casual Cattle Conversations wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Happy ranching, folks.
I tip my hat to you, from one legend to another.
And before we say fare thee well, we give a big tip of the hat to all of you producers out there that survived the big cold one, the big blast that came through the last couple of weeks. Really a nasty one affecting millions upon millions of different individuals out there. In fact, social media has still got a lot of memes circulating and pictures from the devastation of everything that went on. But 'tis the season, right? And now that's going to wrap it up for today. A big thanks goes out to our crew, Paul Mitchell and Paul Martin, the Pauls with FARMATAN and Imogene Ingredients for the updates, Chris Wasem with Wassom Red Angus, Travis Wolf with Clear Springs Cattle Company and the Bred for Balance sale and his updates, Shay Keister with Casual Cattle Conversations, Kirk Donsbach, StoneX Financial Incorporated, and the boss lady Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck. A big thank you goes out to our partners, and this is quite a lineup crew. RanchChannel.com. You need to check that out, RanchChannel.com. Clear Springs Cattle Company in the Bred for Balance sale, Wassom Red Angus, Stockman's Livestock Exchange, the American Gelbvieh Association, Imogene Ingredients and FARMATAN, Westway Feed Products, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Dakota Cowboy, Allied Genetic Resources and Allied Feeding Partners, Livestock Market, Equine Market, and AuctionTime.com, RFD TV, Wrangler, and this fine radio station. And crew, so glad y'all came with us. One more time as we ranch it up. Be sure to follow and like us on Facebook at Ranch It Up Show. We've got a lot of updates there each and every week. Our email is ranchitupshow@gmail.com. You can call and you can text us 24/7 at 707-RANCH20. That's 707-726-2420. Spread the good word and join us again next week where it's always Tigger approved. Stay ranchy and ranch it up.